Hello, Dicestormers. Welcome back. I appreciate that we have been out of the action for a good portion of 2024 and what little we've had yet of 2025. So we do apologize for going into radio silence a little bit. 2024 was a very tough year for us, and we needed to take a break from recording. And so, yeah, we did that. And I just want to say that, mental health is really important. Everybody should do what they have to do, and please take care of yourselves. So we have been approached by a company called Quest Portal to run a game, any game that we like, they said. And we chose to do Call of Cthulhu, and Murray is going to be GMing us through this. But they asked us to break our hiatus, and we felt ready and willing and able to come back to the gaming table and get ourselves set up again and start some streaming or start some recording. So this is us back. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Murray, if you want to take it.
There we go. Thank you, Derek. Everybody, welcome back to this Call of Cthulhu 7th edition adventure called Vozrozhdeniya, Rebirth Island. And today is our session 0. We're going to talk about the game, what's expected, what we're planning on doing, and then we're going to get into one of multiple sessions about this adventure. Before that, though, I'm to read my blurb. The world's supply of Bacillus anthracus, cause of the deadly anthrax infection, has been carefully husbanded, tested, stored, and weaponized for years in facilities by scientists and governments throughout the world, in the UK, the United States, and the former Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. On Vozrozhdeniya Island, a name which means rebirth in the Aral Sea, is the site of the world's largest anthrax supply. In recent years, however, after the dissolution of the former USSR, the Aral Sea has been disappearing, evaporating due to a number of causes, and what was once a secure island protected by vast tracts of patrolled waters, is now an unmanned, waterless desert, reachable by walking across the former seabed. What is more, the anthrax stored on Vozrozhdeniya seems to have disappeared, too. Is this simply a diabolical crime, or are darker forces at play? The investigators must find out why, who, and to where the anthrax has gone, or an ecological disaster of unparalleled proportions, or worse, threatens us all.
Excellent.
Worse. Absolutely. A little bit worse, because it's...
So this is present day.
This is present day. So this is a Call of Cthulhu modern adventure. We all have mobile phones or cell phones with internet connections. Therefore, we can all spill things in our camera top there. Thanks, Benjamin. We can do internet searches for our library use roles, which makes things slightly different, which is an exciting twist, I suppose, in comparison to a 1920s or a Dark Ages or Roman adventure. And then there's all sorts of other things that can come into it. I must admit that I have scared myself in preparing this game. We're talking about anthrax, weaponized anthrax by various governments around the world, by ecological disasters in the Aral Sea, which no longer exists. It has disappeared. It's the most, it's very dark, not just as a game, but when you start reading to put it into a fictionalized Call of Cthulhu world, suddenly you're in a very depressed state.
It's a little too close to home.
So in that sense, I think even though this is going to be a serious gameplay, we're going to have to keep it light to not get doom spiraled downwards. So there'll be character doom spiraling and player levity, I think, is the style that we're going to go for. And I think we're all experienced enough that we can latch back into the style of the game as characters when required. And we of course have the wonderful sounds of Sirenscape to help us get back into the mood instantly. So that will absolutely get us back in the mood. So, those of you who've watched us before, that's the Dicestormers way. Oh, I feel like a Mandalorian. So this is the way. This is the way. No, I think that's copyrighted. We can't use it.
Yeah, Disney never stopped us before.
Now, I believe you can see the dice, the quest portal screen.
Yes.
Is that right?
Apparently, it's blank at the moment.
Be blank at the moment. What I thought we might do is if we go to, what do we need? We need to go to the players, don't we? Let's do this. Can I do this, Murray? Yes. Can you see the players? We might talk about. You can't see the players.
You can.
Well, you can go to the sheet on the right side of the screen. So it says chat and sheet.
Yeah. Oh,
Just so you're
you can't see my characters.
No,
I'm scrolling it through all the characters at the moment.
no.
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 I want.
We can only see John's screen.
So you will only be able to see it when I share one of the scenes in that screen.
Correct.
Okay. So what I need to do then is do that. Okay. I'm going to go to the section. Then I'm going to hit sheet, and this should show up. No, you shouldn't be seeing him. You should be seeing Aaron.
So Aaron Lincoln is a travel blogger for a blog called Dangerous Destinations. He travels, as the name suggests, to dangerous destinations around the world, and sort of documents how, the average American, he's American, the average American can go to all these places that, you shouldn't go. You're told you shouldn't go, but he thinks you can, and sort of documents how that can be done. So he's on the way to the dried up Aral Sea.
So in reality, danger tourism is a thing, and Vozrozhdeniya is a danger tourism destination.
I guess
So that's his deal.
I guess Chernobyl is kind of like the big one at the moment where there's digitarium. So yeah, I guess.
Well, especially since it's a war zone, you're like double down. Yeah. And how did you make Aaron?
Yeah, it's great. So with Quest Portal, you can use the AI thing. What do you call that? You know what I mean?
Generator? AI
Generator to generate characters. So you can kind of just type in, just in your own words, all of the various kind of details, backstory, anything that kind of matters to you in a little box, just in whatever language makes sense, in bullet points, in sentences, whatever. And then you hit enter and it will generate a character in whatever the game system is that you're using. It'll give, all the skills, a fully fleshed out bio, all the kind of equipment is already there, equipped and ready. Yeah, so it's sort of a very quick and dirty way of creating a character without kind of rolling dice and working out the rules and the system and so on. After doing that, I then went back and did some tweaking and changed a few bits and pieces.
Yeah, and we talked through adjusted skills you might have. Yeah. Perfect. All right. John, what about Garrett Schmitt?
Well, Garrett Schmitt. Well, what I might do is I might just read through what the AI has created, because what I did was I put a couple of sentences in, and then the AI generated the character based on a couple of sentences. So, you'll probably see it up on your screen. So Garrett Schmitt is an epidemiologist at the World Health Organization who stumbled into his role after a series of fortunate and unfortunate events that led to his promotion instead of termination. So he got promoted out of the way, basically. Yeah. So his personal description: a disheveled man with unkempt hair and wrinkled clothes, Garrett often looks as if he just rolled out of bed. Despite his lack of motivation, he has a keen eye for detail in his research. So that's kind of the thing. You'll see that it's got a whole list of different things like ideologies and beliefs, traits, significant people, and phobias and everything like that. So it's a really fun thing. Plus an AI portrait, which is kind of cool.
Cool. And what about you, Benjamin? How did you meet Geoffrey Bruce?
I'm Ben. Came up with the character concept and sort of described it in as much detail as I could. And then what's really cool about the quest bottle system is that it took that concept and then rendered that as a series of character creation decisions, distributing points into the character sheet. And so I've got really, really close straight away, a really good head start into designing a character that actually reflected my imagination. So it really helped me to sort of emphasize that aspect of it. And especially if I wasn't particularly experienced with Call of Cthulhu, that would be really, really useful. So if someone's able to describe what their character is, then you can actually get a long way. And then we all got together. It's really easy in Quest Portal then just to change the numbers. So we just redistributed some of our skills and things. So we didn't have overlapping sort of abilities too much, and we had most of the aspects of the things we wanted to cover from a being able to make a good game kind of point of view covered as well. So it's really quick to get that first big scree. Get a really nice portrait, and you can regenerate and tweak your description so you actually get the portrait that really reflects what you're imagining. So, yeah, it's kind of like not like the AI didn't take away my imagination; it actually just helped to really shorten.
I felt it was a little bit like using a miniature to characters snout. Useful, and you can import a portrait if you have one already. I think there's a couple of NPCs about that rather than.
Absolutely, and you could just as easily type in all your stats straight into Quest Portal and have it reflected, and then we've experimented with rolling the dice and everything. It does all the things you'd expect.
Yeah, the dice roller. You'll see the dice roller soon, hopefully. And who is Geoffrey Bruce?
A really good thing with the dice roller in Cthulhu is it tells you whether it's a strong or a critical success, which is requires a bit of maths. All right, Geoffrey Bruce is an Aussie ex-SAS Special Air Services veteran. He specialized in biological warfare and tactician. And he's 6 foot tall, solid, muscular. Someone who's always concentrated on their physical fitness, has broad shoulders, strong posture, salt and pepper hair. So in that respect, he's precisely like me. I mean, there's some...
You can confirm that you're actually in the SAS currently, but
No.
yeah, otherwise you'd have to kill someone.
And he sort of specializes in machines and driving and tactics and weaponry and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, we thought a little bit about our character synergies and how we might work together. And I'm the one who can shoot things in the head.
Not that bullets will help you. Now, Derek, you generated your character in a slightly different way.
Yes, so I went old school. I got a pen and paper out, and I printed out a character sheet of D20 Modern, and I rolled physical dice, and I created the character sheet, and then I used the import character option to take a photo of my character sheet, and the AI read all of the stats, read all of the character the name of the character and all of that sort of stuff, and stuck it straight into Quest Portal. So that was a pretty impressive process. It did require some massaging after the effect. It got some numbers wrong. It put some numbers in the wrong place. It gave me like a SAN of like 25, and I'm like, I don't think that's right.
Not yet. Soon though.
What your double handwriting? Sure.
I did make another video on this process in its kind of a little bit more detail, so I'll put that up as a separate video on the channel, or maybe a YouTube short. We don't do many of those, so maybe put it
Fancy.
on that. So that was how I created mine. Really, really cool. But in terms of who Sylvia Waters is, she was born in Romania to parents that fled the country to set up in America, and she watched her parents grind themselves against the capitalist system in their small Brooklyn bodega, and but she wanted more. She wanted more than the local corner shop, and started to use her beauty and her street smarts to get the attention of the local mafia, and kind of worked her way up in that organization until her boss got taken down by the feds for tax evasion. And then she sort of took over that role and stepped into that role. she has become sort of elevated beyond that to become a bit of an arms dealer. And when one of her people offered to wanted to buy some weapons grade anthrax, she said that she could do that, and found a person to supply her with that anthrax. That person has disappeared and gone off grid and taken some of Sylvia's money, and now she wants it back. So, or the anthrax, whichever jar she can.
Right. Vicinity was correct. 20 with that.
I love that you paused that after she was born to parents, and then you had a big pause. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm being all anal because I know I actually wrote down the specific weaponized anthrax that was being developed.
Oh yeah.
I'm just going to find it now and tell you which.
Cool. Click through the other players' characters in Quest Portal. So it's very cool. So I can actually look at stats and look at your portrait and stuff. That really helps me looking at a picture.
Should also note we added some extra points in so that we're slightly more experienced than a starting character, just so that it represents sort of professionals in their field.
Yes.
Now, as a session 0, there's a couple of other things we should probably talk about, and that is, what things we don't want to do in game and what things we don't want to bring up in game. This is a game about anthrax and the anthrax disease, so there is going to be some quite uncomfortable moments of seeing infected people with this disease in photographs, and thinking about what's happened in this real place is quite disturbing. And then we're going to layer Cthulhu on top, which is possibly even more disturbing. But there's a core there. So be warned about that this is going to get quite real, I suppose, in that sense. But there's probably some things that we tend not to indulge in when we game. We tend not to swear. Obviously, anyone who's looked at our videos before knows we're a pretty rated G gaming channel. Even when we're talking about anthrax and weaponized biology. But anything else we want to avoid or not talk about? Or
for me, there's often a kind of an X on sort of on-screen violence against children. That's something I like to have off camera.
You like violence off camera against children? What? I don't know how I feel about this. I don't feel comfortable with that.
John, it's an operatic reference. It's classical. Anything happens, it happens off screen, and we come back.
Yeah, that makes sense. I see it too. Yeah.
And so rape and it we as a group don't tend to have player characters doing truly evil, abominable things. We tend to like to be the good guys, even if we are drug dealers. Maybe we're faulted good guys. Tend to make the right choice ultimately.
And inter-party conflict is a veil. It's not something we generally indulge in, but that might change in this one because we're dealing with pretty awful forces at work. So
we like to have friction, don't we? As friction's interesting to play, but actually fighting against each other's interests.
But I think there's that thing of a common cause which brings fighting dogs together. Not that we're fighting dogs. I don't want to call everybody a fighting dog, but I should say that there is part of that happens, and that's actually a really interesting dynamic. As players and as characters, to realize that there's a bigger threat out there that you need to band together to get rid of before you fight one another.
Like to see no anthrax and no Cthulhu mythos things. I think those two things I'm not really comfortable with. So, and definitely nothing like that. So it's okay. Could it horror?
There'll be certain cosmic horrors off the table.
So that was it.
Certain sections of this game where I will ask you to shut your eyes, John, and then I will tell you when you can open them up again.
So close them now, and we can open them in an hour.
So there's the audio. So you want to hear anthrax? Oh my gosh!
Oh, I'm already disturbed by the idea. But
some of the most disturbing will happen right up the front in session 1, which will follow after this video. So thanks for joining us, everybody, on session 0 of Vozrozhdeniya, Rebirth Island, brought to you by Quest Portal. We'll see you for session 1. Bye.